Hey everyone, so in this video, we're going to talk about how to use cross contour to make this look more 3D. And then we're going to also look at how cross contour relates to things like cross hatching. Okay. So you want to just sketch out a pumpkin. Pumpkins are great to draw for cross contour. And if you're a teacher and you want to assign this to your students, pumpkins are like the best. They're the best ones to do because they have just the right amount of difficulty for anyone who's starting out. So that's why I love drawing pumpkins for cross contour. Okay, so when you draw them, you want to just kind of do like a quick sketch, and then you can go back over it with your. I'm using a colored pencil. I'm using just Prismacolor here. You could also use a charcoal pencil, or you could use regular graphite pencil. Just make sure that it's sharp enough that you can get a dark mark when you press down. Okay. So when you're doing cross contour, what you want to remember is that you're going around the form. It's almost as if you're wrapping the object in lines. Sometimes people will describe it as like wrapping the object in string. Um, so let me know in the comments if that concept makes sense, but hopefully this makes sense. So it's like as if, the lines are going to go around. So think about here, which way they would go. They wouldn't be straight across, right? Instead, we want them to be kind of rounded off like that, just following this shape here. And then you can't really see this in here, but if it was here, you'd have that. So going around like that. What I like to do too is I like to actually press down a lot at the edge, and then I lift up, and then I press back down. Now, why is that important? So what that actually does is it makes it look more 3D because it kind of implies that it's going into these little crevices here. So look at this, and then here, let's do a couple more just to make this more finished. Okay. So now I'm just going to do it all the same line weight. Okay. So see how that is just not quite as 3D looking as this part. Okay, so it still kind of gets the point across, but it flattens it out a little bit. The other thing that you can do is you can have changes in the placement of the lines, right? So instead of here, how they're all pretty much, uniform in terms of, how much space here, here, here. What you can do, whoops, is we'll do it right here. So you're going to have a lot of lines here, and then it's going to get broader here, and then you're going to have more lines down here. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Okay, now I'm going to start spacing them out a little bit more. And again, I press down, and then I lift up, and then I press back down. So press down, lift up, press back down. Okay, now we're going to start getting really close together. Okay, so take a look at the difference between this versus this. Let me know if you can kind of like see that, but this is a little bit more 3D looking than that is because this flattens it out a little bit. Okay, so now, and we'll do this part later, but I'm going to show you what happens when you add the ones going, in the other direction. So again, pressing down, lifting back up, and then pressing back down. And if you have trouble doing that, what you can do is you can do it like just make a light line and then press down a little bit here and then kind of like try to press down there, but also make it gradual. So you don't want it to be like, here, I'll show you. You don't want it to be like really chunky like that. You want to try to have it be as gradual as possible. So it kind of has like the bit of the Spider-Man effect. And then for this, they're going up and around like that. Right, so you're thinking about which direction things should go. So this is going like this. These are going around, okay? Because we're trying to show the roundness of the form. We'll just really quickly finish these. And do these really fast. um, so yeah, let me know in the comments if this makes sense as a concept. Um, and you can do this with other things too. You could do this with hands. I've done some demos on that, and even a face. And so the connection here between this and say your cross hatching. Whoops, let's look at that. Okay. So now when we look at this versus your cross hatching, you can kind of see how this is a good lead into this. So if you're teaching students cross hatching or you're trying to do cross hatching yourself, practice this first because it's sort of like a good introduction to cross hatching. Because remember, when you do your cross hatching, you don't want your lines just going in all different random directions. And this one was with like jelly pen, but it's basically the same idea, right? You want your lines to be deliberate and think about how you're going to convey the form. Okay, so hopefully that helps, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this, and I'll see you next time.